economy and the underlying social economic issues. Is the average Nigerian both safer and better off under President Tinubu?
The obvious answer is no, right? And before I get to that, I want to talk to what Daniel said. I always find it very interesting with Nigerian government officials who cherry pick statistics about the US and the UK, but they never say how many hours of uninterrupted electricity has the United States had compared to how many Nigeria has had. They never try and find, the good statistics that Nigerians don't benefit from. If you look at the poverty numbers, this is according to the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics. More than 120 million Nigerians are living in multi-dimensional poverty. So that's not just people who lack $2 a day. That's people who can't afford food, who can't afford shelter. And even if you look at the numbers of the people who have died, right? These are wartime numbers for a country that is officially not at war. And so I think it's really, really difficult to make an argument and say, things are trending in the right direction.
Casualty numbers, wrong direction. Poverty numbers, wrong direction.
To understand the context of Nigerian politics, right? And this isn't specifically about Daniel, because he used to be in the opposition, now he works for the president in the APC.
Well, he used to be in the APC, then he was in the opposition, now he's back in the APC, and he doesn't remember anything he said when he was in the opposition.
And I think the crucial context here is Nigerian politics is ideology-free.
Yes.
Right? There's no left or right, as it were. It's mostly, unfortunately, about, people call it stomach infrastructure in Nigeria, and self-interest. And ultimately, if you're someone like the president who, for all his many faults, I think is someone who sees Nigerian politicians for what they are. They are self-interested people. And if you can tap into that, it's very, very easy to get people to come on side. I have a question for Daniel, right? It's like, what made you from saying all of those things that you now disavow? What was the grand vision that made you decide, I want to work for this guy?
First of all, I left him after the primaries because he made a choice of a Muslim ticket. And I thought at the time that would be injurious to the interests of the Christian minorities. I made that decision. And I campaigned against him. And after the election, for the next 1 year, I was critiquing policies of the president. But I saw from January right up to December how this president patiently introduced policies and continued to engage Nigerians across all platforms in a bid to push Nigeria forward. I became impressive about it, and I made a choice to do that. Just in the same way that Mehdi Hassan has worked with BBC, I worked with Sky News, then with MSNBC, and then back to Seteo. Evolution of people's life.
The worst analogy
Evolution of
I've
people's
ever
life.
heard in 14 years of doing head-to-head. What are you talking about? Somebody changing their job from one company to another is not the same as you saying he's a corrupt man who created a militia, bought an election, and now I work for him, and I only said that stuff because it was the opposition.
All of the things you said, you couldn't substantiate them.
I substantiated all of it.
No, you have not.
Let's go to Aisha Osori from the Open Society Foundations. Aisha, in 2023, on the eve of the presidential elections, you wrote an article calling Nigeria a competitive authoritarian state that barely qualifies as a democracy. What do you mean by that, and what role has President Tinubu played in making that better or worse?
Well, he's done nothing to make it better. Definitely, our democracy is a lot worse off in 2026 than it was in 2023.
How so?
Well, for one thing, we had a stronger opposition in 2015 when the APC came in, but thanks to President Buhari and now President Tinubu, we have 30 out of 36 states are now APC, which is not necessarily a good thing because that means we have no opposition. PDP, the People's Democratic Party, has been virtually destroyed. The Labour Party has been destroyed. We literally have no political parties anymore. Another thing that we don't have is any separation of powers between the legislature and the judiciary.
Tunde Doherty is here, the UK chairman of the All Progressives Congress Party, the president's party. Aisha says that your party is turning Nigeria basically into a one-party state.
I disagree with her. I want people to know something about President Bwala Tinubu. Before the man comes to government, he was an accountant. He has a very high-paying job. He was working with Mobile before he became
and who did he work for before Mobile? He said he worked for Deloitte.
Yes.
He made a lot of money from Deloitte, he said.
Yes.
Deloitte says they have no record of him ever working for them.
If you know him, before he came to politics, he's such a very generous, very rich man. Before he came into politics,
Deloitte say they have no record of him working
You remember
for them?
he was a senator.
Tunde, why does Deloitte say they have no record of the man working for them?
That is not the right thing, because there are oppositions working against to bring demand down. But I can
Not
tell
sure
you,
Deloitte is part of the Nigerian opposition.
no, you can't, because all of these things emanate from the opposition point of view to bring demand down. But they have forgotten this man is the symbol of Nigerian democracy that we have today. He fought the military to the standstill during the Adeko period. He made sure that there's no politician in Nigeria today that will say he did not have a Tinubu tonic in his political stability in Nigeria.
Before we go to the audience, I've been waiting patiently
As a
here.
fact check, Deloitte denied that they said he never worked for them. Go ahead.
Okay. You have said in the past, I don't even know why I'm bothering, that when was this man born? We don't know where he was born. He doesn't tell us anything. You complained about this. Now you work for him. Has he told you his birthday?
If you don't know when someone was born, first of all, he must have been born before me. I guess you know that. And secondly, my not knowing when he was born, does that have a consequential effect on his birth?
You said it did at the time when you
Does
raised
it
it
have
as
a
an issue.
consequential effect on his birth?
And do you now know where he was born?
I don't know.
Still? Okay. Let's go to our patient audience here in London's Conway Hall. Let's go to the lady here in the front row first.
In 2023, President Tinubu promised Nigerians constant electricity within 4 years, saying Nigerians shouldn't vote for him if he failed. Yet the national grid has suffered repeated collapses, including twice in January 2026. What is the government doing right now to stabilize the grid and improve reliability?
Yeah. The government has actually strengthened the partnership between the private sector and the public sector. You should know that we took up reforms in the power industry that has allowed the private sector to be fully involved.